Hmm. The holy bond of marriage where two loving souls are united forever in front of God's divine presence. Wait, what's going on in this painting? You can see the painting shows a scene from a marriage. There's the bride, there's the groom, there are the people, and they're all in a church. So what's making this scene so off? What about it just does not click? I see. It's the expressions of the people and the people who are getting married. No one would call them a couple. The painting is called The Unequal Marriage, and you do not need to squint and scan to see why. If you thought the man on the right side of the bride is a father, you would be shocked to know that he is in fact the groom. Apart from showing this sad and dull scene, would you be shocked to know that there are three things here hidden in plain sight? And according to some people, there are actually two ghosts in this painting. This painting almost destroyed the artist's friendship and his career as well. And would you believe that this painting was the best thing that happened to the painter, and then the worst thing as well? Today, we're looking at The Unequal Marriage by Russian artist Vasili Pukirev. Made in around 1863, this painting was a blistering success. In fact, calling it a success would be an understatement. To give you an idea, he was an academician before making this painting. After this painting, he became an honorary professor at the Imperial Academy of Fine Arts. So what's going on in this painting? Let's start with addressing the elephant in the room. A marriage scene usually shows joy, happiness. After all, it's the beginning of a new journey. But this painting looks like a scene from a funeral, and it is actually a funeral. Look at the bride. She is young, full of youth and beauty. Now look at the groom, stern, serious, old with wrinkles on his face and a balding head. They're not what you call a couple goal. The artist added so many subtle symbols in the painting that shows the meaning behind it. The flower wreath on the bride's head has only flower buds, not bloomed flowers, showing her young age and still developing mind. The way she's holding the candle without a care for her safety shows how emotionally affected she is. One small mistake and the candle burns her dress, along with her, but something about her expression tells me that she wouldn't care if that happened. Finally, a single tear on her face confirms that she indeed is unhappy with this unequal marriage. Now let's look at the contrasting figure right next to her soon-to-be husband. The groom looks like he's almost 20 years older than the bride. The star on his suit and the medal he's wearing prove that he's a powerful person with civil and military service under his name. There is no doubt that this man is rich and powerful, and now we understand why she's been married off to him. The groom knows that she is not happy with the marriage, and you can see that the way he looks at her with that side eyes. I know that this man treats people around him like his subordinates, and that is what he plans to do with this girl. Alright, so a young girl has been forced to marry a really old and powerful man, and she's not happy about it. But what about this man? The man with his arms crossed and a grave look on his face. That man is the artist himself, Vasili Pukirev. But what's up with his expression? He too looks disappointed with this marriage. But why? Let me tell you the interesting story behind the setting of this painting. While there are multiple stories behind the inspiration for the painting, the most widely accepted and verified one is this. Vasili was not supposed to be there in the first place. Take a look at this rough version of this painting. You can see the man behind is a totally different person. Pukirev's friend, Sergei Mikhailovich Vorontsov, was a merchant and in love with a girl named Sofia Rybnikova. She was the daughter of a merchant and both of them were at the same financial status, so Sergei thought marrying her would not be much of a challenge. But then, her parents decided to marry her to Andrei Karzinkin, a very rich and powerful man. He too was a merchant. Now here's the interesting part. According to the grandnephew of Sergei, Sergei was supposed to attend the wedding because he was distantly related to the old man. Andrei's sister was married to Sergei's brother. And so, Sergei was the best man at his own love's wedding. What a cruel thing to witness. It was a trauma for the man, and when Sergei told this story to Pukirev, the artist decided to make a painting showing the scene to the entire world. But after the completion of the painting, when Sergei found out that the artist had used his tragedy to make a painting that will be exhibited to the world, He protested, and we can understand that. Nobody would be happy to see a realistic painting of one's traumatic experience. Their friendship almost ended, but then the artist changed the painting and made himself stand there by adding a beard and a mustache. This saved the friendship, but it was never the same as before. The artist used the tragedy of his friend to paint a scene and show it to the world. Despite him removing his friend from the painting, it is obvious that whenever Sergei would look at this painting, he would be reminded of that traumatic tragedy. But did you know that this painting became a tragedy for the artist as well? The painting was very successful. The artist became known all over the country. But that was it. After this painting, he never could make anything remotely as successful as this painting. He became an artist of just one painting, a one-trick pony. He tried to repeat the recipe for success, painting scenes of marriage, dowry, and other controversial scenes, but none of them worked. This painting became his only legacy, and in a way, it was his blessing and his curse. He died poor and completely forgotten in 1890. I guess the lesson here is one should not use someone else's tragedy for success. Now let's come to the ghosts part of the painting. Many people assume that the women standing on the right side of the groom are ghosts. They're the dead wives of the groom. I don't think that's true. They're most likely the sisters of the groom. You can see how they have the same eyes, the man and this woman. Also, look at the man looking at the woman with disapproval. The sister of the groom is looking at her brother, disappointed at him for marrying a girl who could be her daughter. Her husband does not like that attitude, and hence you get this scene. And not just her, but no one in this painting appears to be witnessing a marriage, but more likely a controversy. The two men here are just looking to get something to gossip about. The two men here are disappointed at the scene. And the groom here knows that people are going to talk about the sad state of the bride, and he does not like that. Apart from being successful, this painting also caused controversy. Many people lauded the fact that Pukirev showed a serious thing through his artwork, while others protested that many of these young girls wanted to marry rich and old bureaucrats for the power and the luxury of life. This painting also inspired many other artists to make similar paintings, most famously Till Death Do Us Part by Edmund Blay Leighton. Now tell me, what do you think about this painting? Do you think that the two women in this painting are actually ghosts? Or do you think it was right for Pukirev to make this painting and he got what he deserved? The comment section is all yours. Type away.